So today our lesson is delimitation in Assam, changes proposed and concerns. So we all are aware that delimitation process being carried out in Assam. So let's talk about the changes proposed and changes carried out and concerns. So first of all, we have to know what is delimitation. So delimitation is the act of redrawing the boundaries of an assembly or Lok Sabha seat to reflect changes in population over time based on the most current census data. The process may alter the number of seats in a state so that the population of all seats is as uniform as possible across the state. So you got it. Delimitation is nothing but just the redrawing of the boundaries by considering the current population or data or current census data so that it will reflect the population as means population of all seats as uniform as possible across the state, and means that number of seats will be means decided on the basis of the population or current population. Now, what are the legal and constitutional provisions with respect to the limitation? First of all, Article 82. Following each census, the allocation of Lok Sabha seats to the states, as well as the division of each state into territorial constituencies, shall be readjusted by such authority as Parliament may by law determine. So, Article 82 says that the allocation of Lok Sabha seats to the states will be done or will be readjusted by some authority as Parliament may by law will determine on the basis of the census carried out. And it is actually talking about each census. Now, there will be a question on that whether after each census, the delimitation process is carried out or not. The next constitution based provision is that Section 8A of the Representation of the People Act 1950. Section 8A of the Representation of the People Act 1950, and it allows for the limitation of the parliamentary and assembly constituencies in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, or Nagaland. So this Section 8A of Representation of the People Act 1950 is associated to the state Assam also. Then Article 170, Composition of Legislative Assemblies. Census figures 2001 shall be used for the purpose of the readjustment of constituencies in the state. So it directs the census figures 2001 to be used as the purpose for the readjustment of the constituencies in the state. And a reservation of seats for the SC/STs will be provided as per the Article 330 Lok Sabha and 332 State Assembly of the Constitution. So SC/ST seat reservation will be carried out or will be provided on the basis of the Articles 330 if it is Lok Sabha and 332 if it is State Assembly. Now let's talk about Delimitation Commission. We got to know what is delimitation. The means redrawing of the boundaries which will reflect the current status of the population or census data. Then thereby the constituent assembly seats will be readjusted. Then who will do this actually? And that will be Delimitation Commission. Okay, Delimitation Commission. So Article 82 of the Indian Constitution provides for the establishment of such a commission through a parliamentary act. And the orders of such a commission have the force of law and cannot be challenged in court, will take into effect on a date to be determined by India's president. Two important points. First point is that Article 82. Article 82 provides for the establishment of Delimitation Commission through a parliamentary act, and the orders of such commission cannot be challenged in the court. And third, that whatever the orders that will take into effect on a date that will be determined by our president. Then why the need of delimitation comes in Assam? what is the need of delimitation in Assam? Now, Assam currently has 14 Lok Sabha and 126 assembly constituencies. 14 Lok Sabha and 126 assembly constituencies. The last delimitation constituencies in Assam was done in the year 1976 on the basis of 1971 census. Okay, so the last delimitation process was done with respect to 1971 census data in the year 1976. While the delimitation process was done in the rest of the country in 2008, it was deferred in Assam and some other northeast states, citing security concerns of the time. So although in the rest of the country, the delimitation process was carried out in 2008, but due to some security concern, it could not be done at the time in Assam. So the last was as mentioned earlier, the 1976. So it is not reflecting the current status, right? So in 1971, Assam's population was 1.46 crore. Now that increased to 2.66 crore in 2001 and 3.12 crore in 2011. We have to currently use the census of 2011 data, that is 3.12 crore population is there in Assam. Although now by in 2023, that is that obviously changed to another that is very much higher than or more than 3.12 crore. Now, but we have to actually rely on the 2011 census data, and as part of 2011 census data, Assam's population is 3.12 crore. So 1971's population could not be, cannot be considered for the current process. So that's why the need of delimitation occurs in Assam. Now, proposals of Election Commission. Following a 2020 notification from the Law Ministry, the Election Commission in 2022 announced that it would initiate the exercise on the basis of the census figures from 2001. So don't confuse that the current delimitation process is going on 2011 census data. No. It exactly no, because the current delimitation process in Assam was carried out with respect to 2001 census data, not 2011 census data. And why it is done? Because it is as per the proposal of the Election Commission, or as per the announcement of the Election Commission with reference to Law Ministry's notification, 2020 notification. Now, while the number of seats is being retained, the Election Commission has proposed not just changes in the geographical boundaries, but also an increase in the number of reserved constituencies for STs and SCs. The geographical boundaries changing are done, but also the reserved constituency numbers for SC and STs are also increased. Districts with autonomous councils administered under the 6th schedule of the Constitution get more seats. And change in the nomenclature like Koliabar Lok Sabha constituency now named as Kaziranga. Now, why have this proposal run into controversy? You know, in Assam, Bengali origins Muslim community, often labeled as outsiders and non-indigenous to the state, allege that the draft is partition, depriving them politically. Constituencies have been shaped to mix minority areas with majority, that is Hindu populations. Several seats with a significant Muslim population have been done away with. For example, as per the draft proposal, constituencies of the Borpeta district have now been reduced from 8 to 6. One of them reserved for SC, scheduled caste. So constituencies of several sitting legislatures and parliamentarians across parties may be impacted by the virtue of the changes. That's why, you know, I think you can remember that so many protests were going on after the final proposal. Yes, for example, many Muslim majority areas from the new Kaziranga constituency have been shifted to neighboring Nagaon. That will affect the electoral fortunes of sitting MPs. Means someone may lose that seat, right? That is the fear, and that's why those so many controversies or so many protests were going on. Supporters of the proposals, groups from the Boro Territorial Council, Karbi Anglong district have hailed the proposal because it secures at least 102 constituencies for the indigenous people. So the problem that arise from the Bengali origin Muslim community, and they have the fear of reducing the number of constituencies, right? But the supports are coming from those indigenous peoples, Boro Territorial Council and Karbi Anglong district, because they have now secured at least 102 constituencies, or their number of seats being increased. Okay, so these some limitations are there. In Assam, there is a growing demand to settle this continent over the NRC and the KA before the constituencies are redone. Means they demanded that first settle the issues with respect to NRC and KA data, right? KA, before these constituencies were redone. The KA 2019 offers a path to citizenship for immigrants, including the settled in India, including those who settled in India illegally from neighboring Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan, as long as they are non-Muslim. There is a fear among the native Assamese that a large number of Hindu Bangladeshi immigrants will be given citizenship, which will till the delimitation in favor of the Bangla-speaking people. The NRC published in 2019 excluded 1.9 million people in Assam. There is no clarity on how they will be treated in the delimitation process. That is the fear, or that is the can be considered as the limit of the delimitation. That what happened to that NRC that being published in 2019. That 1.9 million people of Assam who had been excluded. So that is a concern. However, the Election Commission published a final delimitation order for Assam Lok Sabha and Assembly constituencies, and that is constant. We just seen that is contested by the opposition parties, as it is based on the 2001 census and making some changes from the earlier draft proposed in or published in June. Now, as the draft report said, as I have already mentioned, the number of constituencies reserved for scheduled tribes is now from 16 to 19. So increase from 16 to 19 for scheduled tribe, and for scheduled caste from 8 to 9. 2 Lok Sabha seats now stands reserved for STs and 1 for SC. What has changed from the draft is the nomenclature of 19 assembly seats and 1 Lok Sabha seat based on the representation received by the Election Commission. So you have to remember that the final final outcome of this delimitation process is that the number of seats for scheduled tribe being increased from 16 to 19. So 2 seats increase, and for scheduled caste, that was for scheduled tribe 16 to 19, and for scheduled caste it is increased by 1 seat, that is from 8 to 9. Okay. So that's all. I hope you have got what is exactly the delimitation process is, what is delimitation commission, and the constitutional provisions like Article 82 that talks about delimitation process will be carried out after each census, and Section 8A of the Representation of the People Act of 1950 that allows delimitation for parliamentary and assembly constituencies in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Manipur or Nagaland. Then Article 170, composition of legislative assemblies as per the census figure 2001 shall be used for the purpose of readjustment of the constituencies in the state. So, and also reservation of the seats for SC to be done with respect to Article 330 for Lok Sabha and 332 for state assemblies. So I think this is enough information regarding the Delimitation Commission. Still, if any confusion happens to occur, then let me know through a comment. Thank you.